This is fantastic. J.J. Watt tweeted out a moment that he remembered where Philip, he tweeted out, I'll read it out for the radio audience here. I'll never forget lining up for a play and Phil pointing to one of our linebackers and telling him he was lined up wrong based off the blitz we were about to run and being 100% correct about it. Ha ha. One of the smartest I've ever played against and a hell of a competitor. And that's to me,
so good.
That I'm so thrilled that J.J. Watt tweeted that out. Because what he said at the end is exactly what Philip Rivers will be remembered for. One of the smartest players to ever play and a hell of a competitor. Like one of the greatest gamers of his generation. Of his generation. Now, Philip will be known for many things. He never won it all. Never played in a Super Bowl. Okay? Never led the league in passing, right? Never made an all-pro list. But he has every possible passing record for a franchise that birthed us Don Coryell, who deserves to be in, and Dan Fouts, who was a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Never played in a Super Bowl, never won a championship, and also he was all-pro, and he did have some passing notes of note when he retired, and so does Philip Rivers. He retires 8th all-time in wins, 134. Now, you could say wins really isn't that much of a metric because, you know, the Rams won a playoff game this year. The winner of that game in the record books is John Walford because he started.
Right.
Jared Goff finished. You know, he got the hold and the save, essentially.
But we know Philip started and finished all of these games.
And that's another metric here that I'll get to in a second. I appreciate you bringing that up. He retires 5th all-time in passes completed. He retires 5th all-time in passing yards, 63,440.
That's a lot.
And he finishes 5th all-time with 421 touchdowns. That's one better than Dan Marino, who's in the Hall of Fame. The only ones in front of him in that category are Favre, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady, all with 500. And he, as we all know, took over the reins from Drew Brees. And when Brees left via free agency, which is, I guess, the nicest way to put it, but he was shown the door in San Diego. And Philip was drafted in 2004 and played only 4 games, no starts after getting drafted in 2004. Got the reins in 2006. And then never missed a start. 240 consecutive starts. Second only to Favre. An Iron Man. A gamer. Always answering the bell. In his sole AFC Championship game appearance, looked like he wouldn't be able to go. That 2006 AFC Championship game that he led the Chargers to in his first full year as the starter there. As you know, he had a ruptured knee tendon. Had it removed. Have it removed. Then got out there and played. A gamer. Always answering the bell. Philip Rivers. Throwing with the weirdest throwing motion. He always said that he's kind of, when you see it, he kind of has his palm underneath the ball as he throws it, kind of spun it sidearm like on a platter in a way. Sometimes he would follow through. And he said he always used to do that, I guess, to throw around certain linemen when he was a kid in northern Alabama, where he's going to now go back to Alabama and be a high school coach. And the kids of that program have just gotten themselves one hell of a coach who said he wants to go back home now and get to know the kids before spring practice. And
amazing.
His dad coached him, and his oldest son is in the 7th grade, by the way. He's got 9 kids. His oldest one's in the 7th grade. Oh, you bet he thanked his wife in his retirement announcement. and again, just known for his grit, determination, and passion. I've been fortunate to be the host of NFL Network since 2003. And I've been there when Philip got drafted. And I'm here now, thank goodness, that I'm here when Philip is retired. And in my 17 years, there's been a ton of players that you could say were better than Philip or have better Hall of Fame resumes than Philip Rivers. Nobody to me that I've met, and I've met a ton of them, nobody to me outside of Favre maybe. And again, it's interesting that he's in the category of Favre as an Iron Man. But just Favre is the only guy I could compare Philip Rivers to in terms of his childlike love of the game and wearing it on his sleeve and being that guy who plays football and acted like he was 7 in the backyard.
The visible enthusiasm.
Right, but also just
unmatched.
Whatever he needs to do. If he's got to throw it lefty or throw it righty or whatever. And you're seeing it in Mahomes right now as a kid, but Philip Rivers always acted like a child for a father of 9. It's interesting, but it just he always had that youthful exuberance. And the one that leaps to me to mind, I will never forget, 2013, final Thursday night football game of the year. The Broncos had 11 wins. Okay, they had 11 wins. This was Peyton Manning's second year with the Broncos. His first year with the Broncos, they lost to the Ravens in the playoffs, if you remember that, right?
Joe Flacco throw, right?
So Peyton Manning's got 11 wins, and we're basically coronating them the winners of the AFC, depending on how Brady and the Patriots were going to pan out, right? And Philip Rivers just had come off of his 6th win of the year to make the Chargers 6-7. Okay? That's it. They were 5-7. Now they're 6-7. And it's a short week, and the Chargers are in Denver. Nobody gave him a shot. Nobody. Now, the Chargers defense balled out that night. They really had Peyton off the spot, off his game. They were 3-and-outing him all night. And Philip just kept on churning out the yards, put 24 points on the board. Towards the end of the game, he had like some 9-minute drive where he was making every throw, darting every single receiver. And they won. And he comes to the set as our post-game show guest. And he showed up in like these ostrich boots and this bolo tie and lit up the set, like bouncing off the walls, like like one of my kids fresh off of eating candy, or when we deign to give them a sugar cereal. Like, this is what I'm seeing. And he's just answering all of our questions with his hands, and like he's making Mariucci seem like a mute. And we're all feeling the energy from him. And it was just a dynamite interview. Where certain quarterbacks could be, certainly in this day and age, I hear what everybody's saying about us.
Right.
And have a spiteful energy or an edge because that's what they need in order to win. But what Philip needed in order to win was just a set of shoulder pads and a helmet and a roster spot and 10 other guys who wanted to buy into what he was selling. That's Philip Rivers. And the whole Twitterverse lit up with this interview because everybody felt his infectious spirit through their television sets at home. And the Chargers made the playoffs. They won 2 more games. They went to Cincinnati, beat them, and eventually put a scare into Denver in the divisional round. Peyton got him on that day and then eventually made the Super Bowl where his first snap sailed by his head and Seattle won it. That's the season. But Philip made the divisional playoff round. And again, I know people will say, well, didn't make the Super Bowl, didn't make the AFC Championship game, didn't go on that run. And that's true. But there's an intangible. And the story of certainly my tenure at NFL Network can't be told without Philip Rivers. It just can't. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.